Hey everybody, it's Bill Slocum again, and you've watched one of my videos about logging into ArcGIS Online and kind of setting up your account. And what I'm going to do today with you is talk about how to use this, look at some maps that we've created, and even saving some maps that you create. Alright, so once again, how do you get to the online mapping program? Well, in the first video you saw me go to ArcGIS.com. That's just easy for me to remember. The same way to get to your space is to go to this URL, http://nps.maps.arcgis.com. And I've got both of those up here. Here's just the straight ArcGIS.com, and here is the one with the nps.maps.arcgis.com. Oops, I'm going to sign out here. Alright. Now, this little instructional video, less than 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how to start looking at some maps that Dave Frederick and I have created and shared with you. So, I'm just going to go to the login screen login button up here, and I'm going to log in with my username. And remember, this is the one I gave you. So I'm just going to log in as me, and I'm going to type in, if I could spell my own name, that'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? And I'm going to type in my super secret password. Now remember, you've changed your password. I hope you wrote it down. And I want to say sign in. Alright. Now I'm signed in. You'll see that I've got my name up here, William. And these are some different maps that you could click on and use. But I've added you to a group. So in the menu bar at the top, I want you to click on Groups. And here you'll see that you're a member of one group. You're a member of the Colonial National Historical Park group. And we've got some stuff living online in the GeoCloud for you. Another button that you're going to be using is the My Content button. So go ahead and click on that. And here is where you'll store your maps that you create. You'll notice that you have nothing here yet, but you will. So I'm going to go back to Groups, because that is where Dave and I have actually put some maps for you. And once you get to the Groups page, just click on the icon and you'll be taken to the Colonial group. Now, when you log in, you're going to see quite a few things. You're going to see who the members of the group are, and here they all are. And I bet you know these folks, right? Now, over on the left-hand side with the group content, you'll see that you can show everything within the group, maps and layers and scenes and apps and tools and files. I want you to click on Maps, because that's what we're about today. And when you do that, you're going to see a series of maps that both Dave and I have created for you. The first one you'll see up here now is the Colonial National Historical Park base map. So that was the map that I want you to click on. And when you click on it, it's actually going to draw your map on screen for you. You'll see here that you've got the park boundary, you've got the kilometer markers, you've also got this base map, a topo map. And in the legend over here, you can see that there's the kilometer markers and the park outline and also shaded version of the park. Now, this isn't static. I can use my navigation bar up here to zoom in. I can zoom out. If I just hold the left mouse button down, I can zoom, I can pan. And if I get lost, I can hit the home button, and it'll take me back to the default extent. Another thing that you can do is simply click on the park. And you'll get an informational pop-up. We just call them pop-ups. And you'll see that this is the Colonial National Historical Park boundary. This is some nomenclature that Dave's worked with over the years. So it's kind of a hierarchical thing. You'll see here that this is a boundary, and it is for the park as a whole, and it's also for Jamestown Island. Now this is also using some of the National Park Service land resources data so that you can see the ownership is actual fee, so it's owned outright by the National Park Service. And there's some acreage. Now all of this data is within the GIS that Dave provided to make this. Another thing I can do is if I go over into the Show Contents of Map button, I can start to turn things on and off. If I don't like the shaded outline, I can make a map of just the kilometer button or the kilometer markers and the park boundary. And you'll notice here that the kilometer markers have a pop-up as well. So it's got the kilometer marker name, and it's got the values that you can put into your GPS to navigate. And these are in the UTM coordinate system. This is the coordinate system that Dave uses in the park. Alright, so this is kind of nice, I like it, but there's more stuff in here. So I'm going to come up to the top left corner, and you'll see here that I can go to all these different places. Whoops, these look very similar to my other menu bar, but I'm just going to hit the back button right now. You see that takes me back to the content of our group. Let's look at the facilities map. And this is here. This is one I created just for, it's got some base layers for facilities. We got some base layers for fire history. And this one we're working on here. This is kind of a work in progress. But I've got a law enforcement map. I've got a vegetation map. Dave has created a wetlands map. So let's just go up here to, let's go to the facilities map. Well, something a little more fun. Let's see here. Vegetation map. So that's going to load. And eventually it's going to take it might take a few minutes. Because remember, this is online. This data is coming streaming. Uh-oh. It didn't like something, but that's okay. Let's just see what happens. Give it a few minutes. And there we go. So we can see that some data is coming in. We've got a legend here. We've got the park boundary. We've got the vegetation classification from 2005. And that's what we've got here in the veg map. Let's zoom in. I'm going to hold the shift button down, and then I'm going to draw a box around Jamestown Island with my mouse. And you can see that I've zoomed into the Jamestown area. Now, I showed you one time about some informational pop-ups. Well, these data also have an informational pop-up. And you'll see that this area is a tidal marsh. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that and destroy it. But this is based on the National Vegetation Classification. And you can see here that there are several attributes associated with it. This Colo Feature 2 is kind of a legacy attribute, but Dave requested we leave it in, so it's left in. And you can click on this area up here, and you can see what it is, and you can click on this area and get some other informational pop-ups here. Alright, well, let's say that I like this area of Jamestown. Let's see if I can tighten up a little more on it. Okay, well, maybe not. Let's just go there. But if you don't like this base map, there's another base map you can choose from. So in the upper left corner, just click Base Map. And I'm going to choose Imagery, and that's going to look like an aerial photograph. So maybe this is what you prefer. And if this is what you prefer, and you want to save this map, well, you'll notice that there's a Save button. I'm going to drop that down and say Save As. And by default, it's going to give you a title that says copy. But I'm going to take that out and say Jamestown Island. And I can add in some tags here. I'm going to get rid of base map, and I'm going to type vegetation. Okay. And you'll see here that it's going to save it in my folder. Okay? That's my contents. I'm going to save map. Now, just to show you what that is, I'm going to come up to the menu drop down up here, and I'm going to go to my content. And here you'll see that I have a web map. It's called Colonial National Historical Park Vegetation Map. And if I click on that, I get a little bit of information. I'm going to go back. And you'll see that it is not shared. So nobody else can see this. Not Dave, not Dorothy, nobody but me can see this. So if I want to make it so people can see it, I'm going to click on this little button and click the share button. And you'll see that you can share it with the National Park Service as a whole. Everybody in the world, don't click that. But I want to share it with my Colonial group, and I'm going to say OK. Okay. Well, there's a few things there. I'm just going to click OK. This should be all right. All right, and I'm going to go to Groups. And once again, click on the Colonial group. And I'm going to click on Maps. And here you'll see that I have my map for Jamestown that I created. I'm going to click on the Open in Map Viewer. And you'll see that it's opened up to the exact same location. I've got my data that I can click on here, my informational pop-ups. I can click over on the right-hand side and show the legend. If I go back to content, you'll see here that, look, I've got my kilometer markers because those were associated with the map from which I created this map. All right, so just to recap a little bit, I logged into my ArcGIS Online account. I'm a member, just as you are, of the Colonial group. You have access to several different maps. Oops. Oh, come on. Maps. There we go. Access to several different maps. Please feel free to browse around, look at these maps, turn some layers on and off, and by all means, please let Dave know what you think, and we'll continue to work on this to help meet needs. All right. Thanks a lot, and I hope you all have a good day.